This episode of the Shadow Parliament will be about the film Avatar. No, I won't talk about it because chances are it's a film you've already seen. But I will be speaking of the theme of it. Some say that there is a hidden theme in the film. Others say that's very blunt and easy to notice. The theme of the film is that a soldier has been sent to a foreign planet called Pandora. His mission is to befriend the natives and have them leave the place that they are currently living in. But it gets more complicated than that. The soldier eventually discovers that what he is doing is wrong and decides to help the natives fight off the invading force. It's time to go more into the details. I've heard that the film makes veiled references to imperialism, colonialism, and capitalism. The soldier, Jake Sully, is ordered to infiltrate a location where the natives, called Na'vi, reside. Apparently they live on top of what the invaders want, a metal called Unobtainium, which is interesting in itself because the metal does not exist. It's all fiction. It's sort of a reference to a concept for any extremely rare, costly, or physically impossible material needed to fill a given design for a given application. The properties of any particular unobtainium depend on the intended use. For example, a pulley made of unobtainium might be massless and frictionless. However, if used in a nuclear rocket, unobtainium will be light, strong at high temperatures, and resistant to radiation damage. Sort of like adamantium or nth metal, metals that do not exist in reality, but in fiction they are extremely valuable. Like the golden goose, something that does not exist but you wish it did. A wonder drug, a miracle worker. The invaders have no other reason for being on Pandora. No peace mission, no building relations between other worlds, just getting that metal. Sort of like how the Europeans acted when the New World was discovered. The Europeans wanted an alternate route to India for the spice trade, so Christopher Columbus pitched an idea to King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella of Spain to fund an expedition to find an alternate route to the spice-rich East. Instead, Columbus landed in the Bahamas and the New World was discovered. Instead of making communications with the natives, the Spanish took over and exported massive riches and resources in the name of the Spanish crown. Now, seeing as Jake is human, he can't just go to the natives and ask them to move, so he uses an avatar, creation made from human and Na'vi DNA. Now, the Na'vi themselves are rather interesting in the fact that they heavily resemble the Native Americans of the United States of America, which these tribes are known for living with nature, understanding everything around them, and having a sense of the land. When the English first settled on the east coast of what is now the United States, there was only sporadic fighting, but after the 13 colonies declared their independence and formed the United States of America and expanded westward, there was disastrous consequences. Natives were forced off the land that they had lived on for generations and were forced to live on tiny patches of land, so-called reservations. In the film, the Na'vi have no idea what the unobtainium is. They have no need for it, not because they are primitive, but because their culture is no use for it. When the invaders come, the Na'vi can't understand why it's happening, because they don't value things like the British and Americans. The Native Americans, as well as the Na'vi, thought of the land as something that you cannot own, simply use, for the lifespan of a human is nothing when compared to the vastness of the world. Now when the Na'vi leave their home, this was told to me that it resembles the Trail of Tears. The Trail of Tears was the forced relocation and movement of Native Americans, including many members of the Cherokee, Cree, Seminole, and Choctaw nations, among others in the United States, from their homelands to Indian Territory, present-day Oklahoma in the western United States. In the end, the invaders are forced to leave Pandora. While Jake is regarded as a hero and stays with his love, it's a happy ending and that's it. But it's interesting to note that the invaders are basically United States Marines. I was told that this points out to the United States' conflicts in the Middle East over oil influence. But the official view is that it's to help Middle Eastern countries. But we all know better. It's also mentioned that the invaders' homeworld is dying. Is that a clue to global warming which is happening right now? Who knows? So what's the real point of this movie then? That capitalism and imperialism and extortion of people or resources is bad? Sure, we all know that. But the world would not be the way it is now. If imperialism, or European colonialism for that matter, never happened, empires would have never been formed. The British would have never founded the 13 colonies that would later form the United States of America. If France had not settled Quebec, there would be no Canada. If the American colonies had not declared their independence due to taxation from England, Australia would never have been used as a penal colony, and the penal colonies would have not formed the Commonwealth of Australia. New Zealand would have never been integrated as part of Australia and then afterward as its own country respectfully. If Christopher Columbus had not sailed to find an alternate route to India, the New World would have not been discovered. The Spanish and Portuguese empires would have never been formed. But if Europe had not discovered the New World, the natives of the New World would have survived. The Aztec Empire would have probably survived. Remnants of the Maya and the Inca as well. The Aborigines of Australia would have been left alone and their society, language, and culture would have survived as well. But that's all to debate. Some say that the discovery of the New World would have been inevitable, as well as the destruction of the native cultures and peoples of the New World as well. Well, those ideas could be left up to debates. After all this, some of you might be thinking, why would this theme or these themes be in this movie? Well, these days, a director or screenwriter could put secret themes or messages into a movie and no one would know. That's just how the things are now. Well, think about it. What do you think? Is this all a bunch of nonsense, or is there also something to this? Be sure to rate and leave a reply with your thoughts.